Hi guys, welcome back on my channel. Dorota Palicka, International Nail Artist and Educator here. And today I've got another tutorial for you. And this time quick and easy design with a bit of ombre and couple squiggles. You can have a wee preview in here. Yeah, so that's what we are going to create today, but there's also lots of more new tutorials coming up for you because we have been having lots of spare time and I promise I will be posting them up every single day. So if you're new in here, hit the subscribe button to don't miss any future tutorials coming up on this channel, as we've got lots. Like we've got structure, we've got salon tutorials, we've got tutorials on the tips, on the press-on nails, and a little bit of the nail terminology like health and safety, basically anything on this channel. And for those of you who are already subscribing, I would like to say a huge thank you once again for all your comments, all suggestions on the future tutorials. Thank you so much, guys. This is really helpful because this way I know what else to record for you. But let's start this quick and easy tutorial. So another way how to do a very quick ombre, and we'll be using the Upvoted 147, which is like a purple one. So I have just buffed my tip. And you can apply it on the entire nail. I'm actually going to try it on the one coat. And then give it a cure. On the other one, we are going to apply 179, which is Sugar Sparkle. It actually doesn't sparkle. Oh, it does sparkle. Okay, it has like a sugar sparkle in it. I'm not sure if I'm keen for this type of design. I'm not keen on this one for this type of design, but I'm going to test it this color because I have never used it, so that will be an extra one. And on the other one, we are going to use the 158, which is Rouge. And I really love this color. It's a beautiful one. I'm curious now about those sugar sparkle. Again, we'll try on the one coat. Save you watching me painting a tip. Cook it in. Now the sugar sparkle, I'm going to apply just a second layers because I want to see this color. I'm curious now. Maybe I should shake it if it's a sugar and a sparkle. Yeah, it has like a wee sugary bits and pieces and a sparkle, but I don't think so. It is a nice color, to be honest. Would I use it for my clients? No. 179 sugar sparkle. We are not going to use it, and we are not liking it. So we go to my favorite one, which will be 155, a lifesaver. So I'm quickly going to remove the sugar sparkle, which I don't like. I'm actually curious what you think, guys, if you're liking this color or not. I mean, the color is really nice, but it's like a weird, like, sugar in the color. So I'm just quickly buffing another tip to apply a beautiful 155 sweet side. And this color is amazing. I just love it. It's a must-have. Like, I mean, my clients are loving it as well. I love the texture of it. I love like the way it covers the nails, the way it looks after a few weeks. I love everything about in this color. Okay, cook it in. Okay, maybe this isn't a perfect coverage. I've got some see-through, so I'm just going to touch it up. Sorry, I like my tips perfect. And this is perfect. That's 155, so we can't take this one yet. And this one, no, I'm just going to apply it as well. Not too bad for a one coat, but I think the second coat is just making it look perfect. And I like those perfection. 155. I've got the coat, which is this color as well. I absolutely love it. Not that you can see me often in the pink colors. I'm wearing usually black. Okay, so I can put all these colors on the side. And when my tips are curing, you don't lose the time, I'm going to prepare my sponge. I mean, obviously we could do it two-way ombre straight away, but I find it this way to be pretty easy and quick as well. And you always get a perfect result. So I have cut the sponge because if you would use this side of the sponge, it wouldn't work nice. It's too slidey. So you need either a fresh piece or this part. So you can see the difference. This one is slidey, this one is more rough. But I prefer the middle of it the most. On the side, I'm going to remove any fluffy bits and pieces. There is always lots. And now we are going to use also my paint on French gel. So once the tips are cured, and this step is really important. Okay, it takes extra time, but at the same time, it gives you a really nice and beautiful result. Actually, no wipe top gel. And I really find it does gives you a better results if you do this step. Like if I'm doing something, I'm doing for a reason. Oh. Okay, that's it. Finally. Another one. Inside. And another one. So the reason why I'm applying the top coat is to get a really nice surface for my ombre. Yes, you could apply the matte top coat, but again, I don't think so the results are the same. I find it this way done ombre just gives the best result. So I'm going to use the buffer. It's 100 by 180 grit and it's strong enough for the gel to stick back to it. So the tipped one is ready. And we are going to give it a buff. And if the tip is buffed, it has some nice scratches in there for the paint on French to stick in really well and give a really nice ombre results. The first one will take me the longest time just because my sponge it's not going to have enough product yet in there. But the second one is going to be much quicker. And I show you guys also how I store the sponges as well. But obviously for the videos, for tutorials, I want to show you how it will work for you as well, because there will be a huge difference in a sponge which is already absorbed the gel and the sponge which is brand new. Okay, so don't feel like, oh, this is not working or it's taking too long time. It's just because you've got brand new sponge which needs to absorb a little bit of product. So first of all, like, doesn't matter how well we try to apply the gel polish. Sometimes there might be some imperfections. So also with this scratches, we are removing those imperfections as well. And then paint on French gel. I'm just going to take any kind of brush, slap it on a little bit. Okay, and that's how I would do it on the clients. I would just apply it a little bit. Now with the sponge, And what you could do is you could go even like this into the V shape, and this is pretty nice way of getting a nice results. Absorb the paint on French. Like, let the sponge absorb it. Okay, so once the sponge, and now I can feel it, my sponge has absorbed the product, like it is already on the product, on the sponge, the product. And I'm going to go a little bit higher. My motion is not dab, but kind of brush down. So I'm brushing down. And in a higher part, there will be hardly any product visible. Look, guys, like when I'm brushing, there is hardly any product visible. I'm not sure how the camera is catching it. So there is hardly any product in. It's almost invisible. And that's what it is all about. Okay, you wanted it to be almost invisible. You want that really nice gradient in there. And if you would apply the product which is too visible, that's the blending is not good. Before I cure it, I go another one. So before I cure it, I apply a little bit more product. And now I'm starting dabbing. But I don't go as high as I did with the first layer. Okay, so my first layer is up to here. The next one is up to there. So dab it in. Cook it inside. And now I'm just quickly going to buff the other two tips. So just quickly buff them. I'm trying to be very quick. That's it. And I'm using a blue tack for the tips to stick into my holder. We are. Clean the dust. So you can also see how I'm holding the sponge. The sponge is always touching the form because otherwise the bits and pieces of the dust could get in there. And what I love about it, once I have done first ombre, the second one is going to be much easier because I've got already some product on my sponge. So you can see it. This blending is going to be even quicker and nicer. Okay, so the older the sponge is, the better results you get. So the first layer done. And I will do it this step on all of the nails just because I'm going to have a perfect amount of the product on my nails. Okay, so the first one is more brushing motion down the way. But don't do too straight line, like you don't want too straight line. Then tiny bit more product, add it on. And we are dabbing. So dab, dab, dab. Cook it in. And the same on this one. And cook it in. Then the first tip is ready. So what I'm doing now is I'm working on the lower part of my nail. Remove any excess. And now we are going to work on the lower part. Dab, dab, dab. and then even lower. So each time before you cure, you kind of do it 2 goes, and then give it a cure. Same on the other 2. So I don't have to even apply more product. I can just use the product which I already got on my sponge. And that's what I love, like the more I use the sponge, the better results I get. So don't give up, like the first tip is going to be the hardest because it's not going to have enough product. But this one, look how much quicker it is. I've got even too much product now, so I'm just cleaning my sponge a little bit. And then add more. Dab it in. If you went somewhere too far, you use a clean part of the sponge, touch it, and then you would blend it with the clear part. Okay, so if there is any places you feel you've got too much, you would clean it off. Cook it this one in. And the last go, so I've got tiny bit of product in there, and I would just go all over to kind of get it nicer blend on every single layer which we have created. And on top of that, I want my end to be more pigmented. So just dab, dab, dab. Only on the bottom part. Okay, in this way we have created nice beautiful ombre. I'm going to cook it in. Do the same on this one. So clean the excess on the sponge. Blend everything what we have created. Okay, so dabbing motion, dab, 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 dab. And obviously the longer you play with it, the nicer results you get. Okay. And then because we want the bottom to be more white, blend this part out. So again, dabbing. And then we have created another beautiful ombre. Cook it in. And this one is the ugliest one, actually. So let me fix it. So with the sponge, I'm going to dab it in until I really nicely blend that out. What I have done, I really need to attach this tip because it might affecting my blending the way it keeps moving, and then the pressure isn't even as better. Okay, so now I'm starting blending this ugly one. So lots of movement. and then much lighter on the bottom. Dab, 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 dab. I have added a little bit more just because I've got a place which is a bit too strong compared with the other part. And ideally, I need to fix this part as well, so touch, 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 touch. And that's much better. Okay, so we've got another ombre. Now I'm just going to put it inside the lamp and we can move on into the next step. So I'm going to apply the High Shine No Wipe Top Gel. Through the entire tip. And once the top coat goes over it as well, everything looks much, much nicer. Cook it in. Another one. I actually really like the combination of this color. It looks so nice. Like really, really nice. Cook it in again. And the last one, and I'm really fussy about this one. I don't like this one. There we are. One more layer. One more layer. So if you get it patchy like I did it as well, it will be probably because you didn't have the even pressure, and now it is really much better. For the next part of this design, we are going to use, but I like when the thing's happening, we are going to use a foil design gel for a 3D kind of look. And the reason why I like it when the thing's happening is when they happen to you, you know how to fix them. So we are going to use our mixing palette and a drop of the foil design gel. So I'm just going to pick it up with my dotting tool. Apply the top coat on the ugly one. It's not ugly anymore. And let's start doing the design on this one. So I'm going to use the D-liner brush, and it's perfect for this kind of work. Just clean it well. I must attach it in a top coat. When cleaning the brush, like, make sure you kind of roll it nicely in. And I'm using usually a UV cleanser because it's quite gentle on the brushes. You could also clean it with the base gel. Try to don't use the top coat for cleaning your brushes because they might go too hard. And now we are going to paint a couple squiggles. So I'm going to pick up kind of blob of the product. You can see I've got a wee blob in there. Like even bigger blob. Touch it, touch it, touch it, place it harder. And then paint a wee swirly parts. Do exactly the same. On the top, a dot, and then follow the shape of it. Same on the bottom. So a blob and rounded shape. Blob and rounded shape. go opposite direction, follow the shape. Now we need something for the contrast on the other side. So blob and the rounded shape. Blob and the rounded shape, just so it joins in. And then we need to fill up this gap. So blob and fill up the gap. Okay, so that's the kind of easy way. Look, we guys doing constantly the same shape. So it's a almost letter C. So press and paint the letter C. And now do the mirror shape of the letter C. A little bit upside down. Okay, so I'm constantly doing the same movements. And with this same movements, we can get a really nice and beautiful design. So we have created all those letters C. And now if we want to add, we could add something different to it. So I'm just place one more in here. And now let's make it more complicated looking. So what I'm doing is, with my brush, I'm prolonging it. Okay, so some places I'm making it look longer. And I'm just giving like a wee wave into it. And look how the shape is changing of that. It looks so much more complicated. But it actually wasn't, so give it a try to it. We can make it even more complicated by adding another blob in there, and then joining that in. And then another blob, and another blob. So with the swirly parts, you really kind of play with the same shapes, and if you do it with the same shape, it's kind of much easier. It looks very complicated, but it's not as complicated. Okay, one more. So it's thicker and thicker there, and that would be enough, just so we don't overdo it. I'm going to give it a cure. And on this one, I'm going to show you something different as well. So now for a change, we are going to go different shape. So I want to have part of the design in here. So I'm painting like a really large upside down letter C. Adding more into it. And more into it. So it would be very hard for me to go like this with my brush. That's why I'm just touching in a fresh places. Okay, and I'm doing the same opposite side. And add it more. And add it more. So this is a start of our design, and now we are going to add much more into that. So first of all, I'm going to prolong this part. And add into it. And now this is the spine of my design. So I'm going to add to the spine of my design, I'm going to add more of those squiggly bits. Because once you start creating them, you know kind of where to add more, and it's much easier. Okay, another one. So this way we have we have painted a much nicer design, which looks much more complicated. And then add even more to that. Okay. Now we need to do the same on the top. And something opposite. And here, and again something opposite. And something opposite. So you can see it also by starting with the blob, we can get also much nicer and fine lines. Perfect. So we have created another lots of beautiful squiggles. And something slightly different on this one. But again, you need to find the place where you want to start it, and like you just keep adding it on. So I'm going to start it from this side. Prep my brush. Blob of the product. And the rounded shape. Prep my brush again. And with the swirly bits, you really want that blob. Like if I will be painting a straight line, I really don't want the blob. But for this type of the designs, I want this blob. You kind of really cannot go wrong with it. So blob, and then nice and thin. Something opposite. And I think the more you try it and the more you will paint those kind of squiggly, swirly bits, the quicker it becomes and the easier it is. And definitely it's a matter of practicing as well. Another good way is just like you go one side, other side, and make them all join in. One side and the other side, and just join them in. And then once you have created that, you can either make them swirly, then clean my brush. I will show you another movement. So I'm just going to go like a wee sticking out part. Another type of squiggles. So you can get as many really ideas as you want with it, and just try new things. Like don't be scared. Okay, and the more we add it, the more complicated it looks. Like if I wouldn't break it through the smaller parts, it would look really hard to do it, but it's actually not as hard as it looks. Perfect, just cook it in. Once we have completed this look, I'm just going to stick a couple gems with the base gel. So I'm just taking a UV cleanser to remove the inhibition layer, because the foil design gel has an inhibition layer. So I'm just removing it. But it's okay to be without of top coat, and it's not going to come off. Now I'm just going to grab a couple very tiny gems, like I don't want the big ones, to bling this up. Soak of base gel, and on the base they really last nice and long time. So I'm just applying a drop of the base gel with an old brush. And I'm going to stick a couple gems in. One in here, one in there. One, two, cook it in. And we are going to do exactly the same on this one. So honestly, guys, like once we break it through into simple steps, it's really not as hard as it looks. One gem in here, one in there, and one in there. Don't overdo it with the gems. We all love blink, but we don't want to overdo it. Just you don't hide this design. No. Cook it in. And then I show you a final look on all of them. So one more gem in here and in here. I hope you like those type of tutorials. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you're new in here, hit the subscribe button. Now I show you the final look, guys, because that's what we have created. That's this two. And the third one is ready as well. Yeah, that's the designs from today's tutorial. Glittery hacks, and bye for now.